Well guys, this is my last episode for Black History Month tribute. Tonight I'm going to draw and talk about Henrietta. The story of Henrietta is dark and grim, so you might be triggered. My name's M-Phamis, but you can call me M3 Bullet, and this is my last Black History Month tribute. Like, share, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. Before her name was changed, she was born in Loretta Present on August 1st, 1920 in Virginia. People say that she changed her name because of her mom that died in 1924. She grew up with her grandpa. They lived in a log cabin that used to be a slave house back in the day. She was a fun, kind, and caring woman, and a young mother of 5 since she was 14 years old. The firstborn son was Lawrence Lax, Elsie the first daughter, then David Jr. the second boy, Deborah the second girl, and Joseph the baby boy. Deborah will be important later. In 1951, she went to Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, and she was dying of cancer. They treated her with the best equipment. While they were running tests, they took her cells without our knowledge. Eventually, she died on October 4th, 1951, at 31 years old. A scientist named George Guy saw the cells replicate outside the human body, which normal ones don't. He sold them to labs around the world, making millions of dollars. Her cell was used to make the polio vaccine and develop cancer and HIV treatments. And it was the first cells that was cloned. That would be therapeutic cloning. A biology lesson. You're welcome. The family didn't know about this until the 70s. The family didn't receive any reparations or benefits from Henrietta's cells. Remember when I mentioned her daughter Deborah? She was contacted by a journalist named Rebecca. She was doing research on the Lax family to write a book, and that book became adapted into a movie with Oprah in it. And now the Lax have a say on what happened to her cells. This woman was a hero, and her name should be known and remembered forever. She was God's blessing to the world. Black folks are God's blessing to the world. What was done to her was unacceptable, heinous, and horrible. They should teach kids about Henrietta. This wasn't the first time medical experiments was conducted on black folks without their consent or knowledge. Exhibit A, the Tuskegee experiment. They inject black men with syphilis, and it was going on for 4 decades. It was unethical. Sad but fun fact, the gangster Al Capone died of syphilis. Exhibit B, the doll test. A psychological experiment which kids had to choose between a black doll and a white doll, and the black kids choose the white doll. And let's be honest, Jim Crow was an experiment. As a man of science, this ain't cool. Like I said, there was a movie made about her. I think it's still on HBO. Oprah may be old, but she can still act. It doesn't make sense that they can sugarcoat how the first Thanksgiving went down, and they can't sugarcoat Henrietta Lacks in school. That just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Growing up, I never heard of Mildred Loving, Henry Johnson, Bass Reeves, and Henrietta Lacks. It was baffling when I heard about the Virginia versus Loving case. It's an important civil rights case that every interracial couple should know, and children should know this too. Should kids know that they can choose who they love? I say yes. Henry Johnson and the Hellfighters, they was America's children, and America abandoned them. The French took them in and really cared about them. I know it was probably an adrenaline rush that allowed Johnson to fight while he was injured. Adrenaline rush or not, to me that's a superhuman feat, and the fact that he was born in the same state as me. Bass Reeves was the case of a normal man that became an extraordinary man. He arrested thousands of dangerous criminals and never was injured. And this was during the Reconstruction era. The man was more than just a man. He was a Superman. And he is the real-life Lone Ranger. Dwayne McDuffie was the best comic book writer and co-founded a black comic book company. I know he's not a civil rights legend or a badass soldier. He made an impact on racial diversity in comics. And I'm excited about the Static Shock movie. If I had a chance to do a movie about him and Milestone's comics, it would be an honor. The HeLa cells are a gift from God, and Henrietta Lacks was a good woman. It's a shame that she died so soon, but I know that she would be happy that she saved lives. She saved millions of lives. Well guys, I had fun doing this. I know we have a long way before there's no racial discrimination, but at least we're making progress. It may be slow, but it's something. From my generation to the next, we honor and we are grateful for their sacrifice. Well, I had my fun. Like, share, and subscribe.